Good day, everyone, and this is Language, Culture, and Society English 101, and I am Kenjus Percy Pakiding, and I am be your discussant about language shift. What is language shift? Alright, anyone? So, language shift, no, it is the language replacement or transfer or assimilation. Here we have the definition of language shift. Language shift. One language replaces another as society changes and desire shift. It means this is happen when there is a transformation of language depending where the speaker is or where the speaker belong in a community or in an area or particular country. According to Huffman, 1896, language shift is always preceded by multilingualism. If we say multilingualism, the speaker or the individual can speak three or more, no? Three or more languages. And also we have the causes of language shift, no? First, we have the three, the globalization, colonization, and migration. Globalization. As the world becomes more interconnected, people are increasingly interacting with speakers of other languages. This can lead to a shift to dominant language or languages of globalization, such as English, Mandarin, Chinese, or Spanish. Here in the Philippines, we are adopting English, no? English language for education, for works, for different aspects in life, for communicating. That's why we are utilizing English, no? Because it is sometimes somehow required in our jobs, in our education, no? That's why we are affected with globalization of language shift. And also we have colonization. When the country colonizes another, the language of the colonizer is often imposed on the colonized population. This can lead to the decline or even disappearance of indigenous language. It means that colonization can can impose the language that the invader or the colonizer, for example, the Spanish, we adapt Spanish, no? For example, there in counting, we have uno, dos, tres. That is from the invaders Spanish or Spaniards, no? And also the Americans, we adapt their language just for communication purposes because it's so hard before to not know their language to and in communicating because very crucial before that if you are going to speak with them, you have to know and you have to be good in their language, no? And that's why colonization cause of the language shift. And also we have the migration. When people migrate from one country to another, they may adopt the language of their new home country. This is especially true if they want to fully integrate into their new society. So if you are going to migrate in different places in a different country, we are going to adapt no their language of the society there because the language there and the language that we have is different, so we have to adapt just for purposely communicating the people in that particular society. That does not mean that you are going to change your language because you are adopting the language of that particular country or that particular area because you are for the purpose to communicate with other in the community, and we still utilize our native language in home because no, if we are natively speaking Bisaya in your home, you speak Bisaya, and just like you are doing English, maybe apil yun na siya sa koan, possible nga ang imong your mother will ska oy pud ani niya oy kay ko aning nag-English English na nakaabot lang ganig America. So that's why no, the migration caused the language shift. And also we have the factors contributing to language shift. No, it is divided to three sets: on the economic, social, and political, demographic factors, and attitude values. First, we have economic factor. And language shift often reflects the influence of the economic factor. If we say economic factor, it's related to our work, our jobs. And also in jobs and in our work, there are also required language to use, to utilize, no, especially if you are a call center agent. Agents are required to speak fluently in English speaking for communicating their customers, no, just for just for the jobs, just for the work that we have, so that there is a shifting of language. And also we have social factor, may learning new language for social interaction. Example here we have making friends. Yes, if your friends, no, if especially if you are attending conventions or in meetings, you are be particular on the audience or the people that you are around, no, because maybe they are using English because they are natively, or they have their own language, so that they are using English for communicating, for making friends, for especially if that friends that you have is not um well tawag nito, well, know your language that you have, maybe you have to adapt, or you have to adjust the language that unify within the both of you, no. For example, if she is Bisaya and he is a Ilocano, maybe the language that you will be used is Filipino, so that the communication there is kuan ning will be successful, no, the communication. And also the political factor. A rapid shift occurs when people are anxious to get on in a society where knowledge of the second language is prerequisite for success. Example, the authority usually chooses one language to unify various kinds of ethnic group. Here in the Philippines, we have hundreds of groups that have a various and unique languages, no? That's why we have the national language, which is Filipino language, for us to communicate and to be unified in communicating, and will have a understanding with each other. And also we have demographic factor, plays the role of the process of language shift. When there is a community of speaker moving to region or in country whose language is different from theirs, there is a possibility or tendency to shift the new language. It means if you are migrated or moving on different places, there is possibility talaga na you are going to change or to adapt the language on that particular area, for us to communicate with them, for us to understand with them, for us to show respect, and to integrate the people there, no, in the community. And we have also the attitude and values. This is the most important, no? Language shift tends to be slower among communities where the minority language is highly valued. So people represent or make their language as a symbol of identity or ethnic identity. Sabi nga nila that language reflects who you are, what identity that you have, what group you belong, no? For example, there are some cultures that they are valuing and respecting, or they are preserving their language as the visitor, or the foreign in that particular area. We have to know, and we have to respect also, and to show um um integration, or to show respect with them, just to just to communicate, just to not just to communicate, but also in respecting their culture, and in revitalizing and enriching their culture, that what they have, no. And also we have also a language shift consequences. We have the positive and negative consequences. Positive consequences, we have Two, first, we have increased opportunities. Speaking the dominant language can open up new opportunities for education, employment, and travel. It means that if you are have or you have learned a lot of languages, there will be access or easy access or easy access, no, in education, in employment, and also if you are traveling, no, it's so easy to communicate because you are have that particular language or you have learned that particular language or all common, no, mga simple nga language nga nasa ila. And also we have cultural enrichment. Exposure to new languages can broaden people's understanding on different cultures. The more we are learning language, the more we can understand the different culture that they have and how they are going to preserve and how they going to value and respect the culture, how they are very particular in their language, their culture, their beliefs, no? We are it will give us enrichment about their culture, no? And also, we have the negative consequences. It's divided into three. First, loss of cultural identity. That's why language is the key part of cultural identity. And if the loss of the language, it will occur, the loss of the language, it can lead to loss of cultural identity. If you are not using your language frequently or you are using somehow or sudden your language, it will lead to loss of your cultural identity. That was so sad because there are some language here in the Philippines are it's instinct or in danger or about to erase, no, because of there is no because the language is no anymore utilized. And we have social fragmentation, no, language shift can create division within communities as a speaker of the minority language may feel marginalized. Maybe if you are not learning and you are traveling to other areas, especially in the more enriched in culture, if you are not learning their language, there will be a borderline between you and the community because you are not giving empathy or you're not giving respect or value on their language, no. That's why it will be possibly have a social fragmentation or it will set a borderline within different languages. And also language endangerment. This is what I told you, no, discuss recently. Language shift can lead to the endangerment of even extinction of minority language. No, it's so sad that most of the languages or some of the languages, no, are about to about to about to erase. But as we, no, as we saw that negative consequences, we have to utilize, we have to preserve our language, especially our cultural identity where is represented by our language, no. And by preserving, that ends na pala yung kuan ko report. By preserving that that language shift, it's okay for us to have a language shift because it is the assimilation of where area or demographic location that we are in. So we have to adapt, but mind to think or put on to your mind that not necessarily we have to change our language, no. It should be still using our native language just to preserve the cultural identity that we have, because they say that language is the representation of your culture. And that would be all. I hope you have gained a lot of learnings today, and thank you for watching and listening.